Good morning, YouTube. I was thinking about this the other day. I was in a conversation with a friend, and you have to ask yourself, are you the kind of person that hates rich people? Think about that for a second. By the way, today's coffee is brought to you by Folgers. Yeah, I made it strong too. One of the ways to stay trapped in poverty is to never educate yourself on how to get out of poverty. That may sound like a simple, duh, Captain Obvious kind of situation, but it's amazing how many people don't realize that. If you can find a person that's doing way better than you, and become friends with that person, then you can learn from that person. And it's through education that you get yourself to the next level. Now, I'm not talking about material possessions. I'm not talking about the guy that has the nicest car or the nicest boat or anything like that, because you can get all that stuff and be in terrible debt, right? Debt's a different ballgame. But if you know somebody who's done very well for themselves, wouldn't you want to learn from them? Wouldn't you want to get advice from them? Wouldn't you want... Now, you don't want to like, hey, can you spot me $1,000? You don't want to be that guy. You want to learn. That knowledge is more valuable than any handout they can give you. And I think that there are some very bad rich people out there that have kind of given people a negative, view, negative perception of what rich people can be. Because believe it or not, there are rich people that are actually good people. No, that's weird. There's just as many poor people that will kill you over money. They will victimize you for their gains. That's just human nature. Whether you're rich or poor, it's just a method of how they can take advantage of you, right? But if you automatically hate all rich people simply because they've got it better than you, then you're closing your mind to what could potentially bring you to a better level. I had this, back in my young and dumb 20s, I had this girlfriend. And she was just a bad person. And one day, we decided to go to my parents' house. First time she's met my parents. And after we left, she's like, I'm never going to your parents' house again. Like, why? I said, well, they think they're so much better than me. No, they don't. Well, they're rich. And that, like, I almost crashed the car because I was just like, what? My parents are far from rich, right? I mean, we weren't even breaking, I don't think they were even breaking 100,000 on the combined yearly annual income, right? But because she hated people that were that were at better spots in their life than her, And because she surrounded herself with only people that were in poverty and never expanded her mind on how can I get myself out of this, she automatically assumed that A, my parents thought that they were better than her, and B, that they were rich. It was a modest house. You know, my dad had a newer pickup. You know, it was just weird to me. And it's not like she lived in a dirt poor house either. So I don't even know where she got that from. One of the many red flags that, you know, would later on in that relationship, right? But that closed-minded mindset can apply to anything. If you have a closed mind on shutting out a whole section of society, how can you learn, right? How can you figure out how to be rich if you don't learn from the rich? Now, granted, there are secrets that maybe a lot of people won't tell you. Maybe that, you know, like, you know, think about this. And we've all seen those ads. Oh, hey, I have this secret method of how to make money, you know, and I became a millionaire overnight using this one method. Think about it. If someone knocked on my window and said, "Hey, here's a free magical ATM card," you think I'm going to tell anybody about it, right? If I find a way to make money, and why would I give myself competition? Got a text. Why would I give myself competition, you know, and give away all my secrets? So that there's something to that. If something's too good to be true, it probably is. That's something that you should learn when you're 5, right? And anybody who sells that kind of product, are they being that generous? People can be generous, but they're not going to give themselves competition. You know, they might give you some secrets, some methods that you can find on Google, but their get-rich scheme is to sell you a book that says how to get rich. That's not the kind of education I'm talking about. I'm talking about finding a good mentor that will guide you and teach you and educate you on how to manage money. Because, face it, the main difference between you and a rich person is how they manage their money and knowledge. How to utilize the tax laws to yourself. How do you enter the real estate market or the restaurant business or, you know, retail business, you know? How do you afford being able to buy a brand new truck and keep your costs low? You know, that kind of thing. Those kind of tricks. You know, the advantages of leasing, the tax advantages of rental, you know, and all this other stuff, right? That's the stuff you need to learn, not the get-rich scheme. Not the, hey, can you write me a check for X amount of dollars? Because if you don't solve your money management issues, then you're never going to be rich. There are people that have won millions in the lottery and they're broke 2 years later. Because why? Because they didn't learn how to manage their money. Money management is something that you have to learn. It's not cured by just adding more money to it. So if you hate the rich, you're only like keeping yourself poor. Anyways, those are my coffee thoughts this morning. Cheers. I hope you have a good day. And thanks for watching. Click like, subscribe, share this video out. You know, all that jazz. So anyways, talk to you guys later. See ya.